Hey Rockstar, Steve aka Void here, and today we're going to talk about playing along with records. Okay, now before we do that, I want to let you know that if you want to come hang out with me and have me personally show you how to play along with records, how to learn songs faster, and just be a better guitar player, then definitely check out my Play From Day One program. That's playfromday1.com. And add your name to the waiting list, answer a few questions about your playing, and then I'll reach out to you. We can discuss next steps on bringing you into the program. So, playing along with records. Basically, what we need to do when we play along with records, first of all, we have to play along with records when we're practicing because that is going to be the most realistic way to play songs and play music, because guitar, okay, let's backtrack. Guitar is meant to play music, and it's meant to be played with other instruments. Okay, now besides maybe some of the complex instrumental guitar that you might hear, typically, you know, we hear bands, and that's a guitar and maybe another guitar, 2 or 3 guitars, or you know, we have bass, we have drums, we have vocals, we have all of these things at once, and we need, as guitar players, we need to be able to match up with other instruments. Okay, now when we match up with other instruments, it seems like it's kind of it seems like maybe it's like kind of an obvious thing, but really the point of this video is that it's not obvious. And really I want to break it down to just 3 things, the 3 C's I call them. Okay, now before I get to the 3 C's, I have a lot of guitar players asking me for help every single day, and when I ask them, okay, so what songs are you playing? Some people say I'm not playing songs, they're playing, let's say, scales and exercises. Whether it's their guitar teacher that showed them, or they think that that's what they should be doing, or they read it in a book somewhere. And so we first have to get them to like wanting to play songs. So you have to, you know, want to play songs and know that that's the most important thing that you can do on the guitar is play songs. Okay, now the next thing, if they say that they're playing songs, then I might ask them, okay, well, you're playing songs, so now what happens when you play along with the record? So let's just say they're playing Master of Puppets by Metallica, and so it's like, what happens when you play along with the record? And so then, you know, often I get this kind of response is, well, what do you mean? I haven't played along with the record. And I'd say, well, okay, well, we have to play along with the record, because when we play along with the record, that's when we find out all of the sort of the things that we need to work on the song, because that's reality right there. That's like, if you were playing it by yourself, it's kind of an illusion. You don't necessarily know if you're matching up with the record, or with what you should be doing in the song. So, and I'll address that in a second here. But just first, you have to get to playing songs. Like, first in your mind, you have to know that playing songs is the most important thing you can do. And then after that, know that taking those songs and playing along with the record is even more important, because that is where the real music happens. Okay, now when I say record, that's the easiest thing to do for a guitar player, because that's what we can do anytime we want when we're practicing. We can do that in the comfort of our own homes. The other skill that we're really developing is playing along with other sources. So if you're playing with a band, then that's actually that's what you'd be playing the records for, is so that you could train, so that you can play along with other instruments, other musicians. Okay, so first we have to get our minds around, we've got to play songs. Okay, not scales, not exercises. We're playing songs. Then we put those songs into action with the playing along with the record, and that's what we can do at any time we want, because that's in the comfort of our own home, whatever it might be. You know, if we're playing with records, we could do that as much. We don't have to schedule that necessarily. We don't have to coordinate with other people. We just play along with records. And then optionally, if you play with you know, buddies from work, or if you play in a band, you know, that's where it all ends up, is you know, human beings playing music together, because that's the best experience, in my opinion. Coming from playing in bands and you know, performing live, this is where you want to be. Now, if you're fine with playing with records and it stops there, that's also cool. But just know that, you know, I'm encouraging you to play along with other musicians, whether that's just a singer, whether that's with your family at Christmas time singing songs, and if there are other musicians there, like playing with other human beings and having experiences like that. That's really what we do this for. Okay, that's what the guitar can help create. It's that magic that it can help create. Now, how do we do this? How do we play along with records? How do we lock in? And this comes down to what I call the 3 C's. So the 3 C's, first we have to understand that we need coordination. Okay, now coordination is all about our 2 hands coordinating together to play, let's say, strumming patterns and picking patterns, as well as chords or different riffs. It's coordinating the 2 hands together. It's coordinating our ears and our hands so that we know that we're doing it correctly. It's coordinating our mind so we know that the information that's coming up is accurate and is also, let's say, what chords coming up, what sections coming up in the song. And if you're playing a string of songs, what song comes next and what comes next after that. So you're coordinating all that. If you sing, then you're coordinating your vocal cords. Even within the vocals itself, you're coordinating your vocal cords, your mouth movements, your breath, your mind, your ears. So each one, and I mentioned this before, each one is like a machine, and we're coordinating all of that together. Now, coordination is something that we deal with on our own, okay, and we can't take it lightly because that's something that we have to make sure that we build properly. And the coordination, once we have that, that's just us. That's the part where we took care of ourselves there. When you are playing songs and you're playing along with records, you need to be able to play and coordinate with the external source. So when you play a record and it's coming out of the speakers, you have to then coordinate what you do with what's coming out of the speakers. Okay, so you're coordinating with that, and you're building what is, and by the way, that's the context, okay? That's the 2nd C. The song is the context. The record is the context. If you're playing scales and exercises, there's no context there. That's not music. So if you want to learn how to play songs and you want to learn how to play like your favorite guitar player, then you need context. You need to be playing actual music in order to improve. So you have your coordination that you built on your own, and you know is very important that you have to coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to strum some chords, and so my let's say my right hand, because I'm right-handed, my right hand is going to strum the chords, and my left hand is going to change the chords. That's the coordination part, or at least a part of the coordination. Now, I then go to the context, which is the record. Okay, that's the 2nd C. So we have coordination, then we have context. That's the 2nd C. And once we have the context playing, then we have the 3rd C. We have to make sure that we're compatible with the part we're playing, we're compatible with what's on the record. And this is where this saves a ton of time for you as a guitar player, because the compatibility part, that's where we don't have to play exactly what's on the record. We don't have to play what I call face value. We have to just play something that's compatible with the record so that we could get in the game, okay? So we're coordinating with the record, we're making something that's compatible, and the record, again, that's the context, right? Everything is all about the context. We're playing it in a real musical context. When we're playing with other musicians, that's also musical context. We need that context, and if you're playing scales and exercises and that's all you're doing on your guitar playing, that's not really context. There's no music in that, okay? It's like preparing to play music, but sometimes people don't even get to the music because they're always in this sort of preparation phase. So when we're playing with context and we're making something that's compatible and we're coordinating all of that, that's really where the magic happens. When we're talking about compatibility, I mean, just imagine that you're standing on stage with the band, and maybe you're playing power chords, and you're just matching up with the band, making sure you're in tune with the record, making sure you're in time with the record, okay, and making sure what you're playing is compatible with the record, okay. So when you want to play along with records, you need to make sure that you understand you have to coordinate. Okay, you have to have context. Okay, you always be playing with context, and then also make whatever you're doing compatible with that context, with the record. Okay, so coordination, context, and compatibility. Okay, it's really, and especially the coordination part, guys. The coordination is everything. That's how you move. Like, that's where when you're playing something and it's sort of stop and go, stop and go. Basically, when you're playing like that, you're actually you're hurting your coordination, because you're actually programming, like, that's how you play guitar. Whereas when you have the context playing, when you have the record playing, and that's you're providing context for yourself, and then your only aim is to play something that's compatible. That's when you start to build momentum in your guitar playing. And we have some honorable mentions over here, other C's that are important, like consistency. You want to do this on a regular basis, okay? So you want to play with records all the time. Every single time that you practice, you should be having the record of the song that you're playing. You should have the record handy, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, on a CD, playing through the TV, on a vinyl record player, whatever it might be. You want to be doing that consistently and make that part of your practice on a consistent basis. And then finally, confidence. Once you do all this stuff and you start getting some results, even if you're just, let's say, simply playing power chords along with the record, or playing one strum of the chord along with the record, you start to build confidence, because you start to understand that this is what the most important thing about playing guitar is. I'm coordinating everything so that everything works in my playing. Then I'm applying that to context. So that's the record, that is the context, that's the real musical context, which is the point of all of this, is to play music. And then we're coordinating with that with something that's compatible. So we're playing the right chords or the right notes that are compatible with the record. Not necessarily playing exactly what's on the record. We don't have to do that just yet. Play now, polish later. I'll play something that's compatible with the record, and then when we do that consistently, then we build confidence. Okay, so really it's the 3 C's there, but we have some honorable mentions: consistency and confidence. So coordination, context, and compatibility. That's all I have for you today. If you want me to help you with these things and help you to build coordination and play with context, and also make parts that are compatible so that you can get right into the playing and build confidence, then definitely check out my Play from Day One program. Come hang out with me. I'll be your guitar coach. I'll show you how to learn songs faster and how to do basically on demand and everything that I'm talking about here. And if you want to do that, then definitely add your name to the waiting list by clicking the link below, or by visiting playfromday1.com. And that is all I have for you today. So again, make sure to play with records. 100%. You can read on my shirt, I play guitar, not I practice guitar, I play guitar. Okay guys? So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.